You? Thank you very much. There's been a lot of talk tonight about collaboration and shared governance. And guess what? I want that too. I think that's a brilliant idea. Each one of us up here represents something like 100,000 people out there, the residents of our neighborhoods that we represent. And I know what the bias is internally and what our internal stakeholders and what probably a lot of our students want. I don't know if there was actually a vote about this issue, but it is an emergency that it got on the agenda today. And let me tell you why. My colleagues don't even know probably why this meeting got on the agenda, not all of them, because we cannot collaborate before the meeting, unlike everybody else in this room today. And so they don't know all the context behind what happened. But what happened was a small group of people without, I guess we found out we have absence of a board policy. Well, I would really appreciate it if you let us know, hey, board, there's a gap in our policy. Can you work on something with the shared governance process to fill this gap and resolve this problem? That's not what happened. What happened was, in between meetings, a tiny group of people decided to take it upon themselves to go ahead and put a viewpoint flag up. It was going to be on the flagpole. And what happened was I actually asked a question, simple question, started with the simplest question. Is that going to be in a free speech zone? No, we're going to put it on the flagpole here. Okay. So they said they're going to put it on the flagpole. And I kind of asked some questions about it. Turned out it went in the library instead, an 8-foot by 12-foot flag. It does not matter what the special interest group was. It could have been any group. It just happened to be the first group that totally bypassed the board on an issue that's clearly in the national news constantly. It's constantly in the national news. So you think you could do that without a chancellor permission or without board permission? Apparently you do, and you did. And this is exactly what happened. I guess you're going to get what you want. Congratulations. But anytime you have viewpoint flags or flags of special interest group of any kind, you are going to make other people feel uncomfortable and unwelcome. And that is exactly what you're going to do. If you're so confident that the community embraces this flag or any other flag, special interest group, put them on a ballot and see if they vote for it. We represent more people than just are the teachers and the students. I guarantee you the flags that would pass are the flags that I put on this agenda item. And I really want to appreciate both sides of this conversation tonight, because I will say that none of these flags that I mentioned were considered divisive. Everybody agreed with these flags. That's kind of my point. You're not going to get a 90. I know this is not 100% supported by everybody, but it's in the 90th percentile. What are these other flags? Where are they ranked? Have you put it to a vote? Have you asked anybody? You haven't. And the bottom line is we've been alienating students, faculty, and staff who don't share these kind of same viewpoints. For the whole time I've been here, people come to me. We got a lot of letters from the community. The majority of them were in favor of this policy. And unlike the other side, I put out all the agenda pages. I didn't leave out the resolution page when I shared it out. We'll read a little section of that. It says, whereas this resolution does not in any way, shape, or form infringe upon fundamental right of an individual stakeholder or stakeholder group to engage in free speech, nor does this resolution limit speech by public employees, provided that such employees engage in such speech in a protected time, manner, and place. This was never about taking international flags out of the ESL departments or taking pride flags out of the pride centers or anything like that. This was a 30,000-foot view goal. We needed to have a discussion to talk about, honestly, where the lines should be drawn. I've heard about other flags that were flown as well in areas that questionably should be under the purview of the board. We heard people tonight say that they don't need the board. And you all just decided not even to have a debate, not even have a conversation. They said we do things without the board. We've been doing it all this time. This is something that is divisive. It's something that exposes us to lawsuits. It's an emergency because we are now exposed to lawsuits for First Amendment violations if we don't allow another group under the same logic, without permission from the board, without permission from the chancellor, to get a handful of people to go raise a flag in a library or on a college campus flagpole. We are going to be exposed. So we do need a policy. I disagree with you what that policy is, and you all just got steamrolled tonight. That's all. Thank you.
Trustee Bent.